The nature of suffering. Suffering, or dukkha, in Pali, is an inherent part of human existence. It encompasses everything from minor inconveniences, like a missed bus or a harsh word, to profound losses, such as the death of a loved one. Suffering is a universal experience, one that connects all human beings across cultures and times. Buddha's teachings offer a deep understanding of why this suffering occurs and how we can address it. According to Buddhist philosophy, suffering is not just physical pain or emotional distress. It also includes a deeper, more pervasive dissatisfaction with life. This existential suffering arises from our inability to find lasting happiness and peace, despite our constant striving and desires. Understanding the nature of suffering is the first step in Buddha's teachings, laying the groundwork for the journey towards liberation. The causes of suffering according to Buddha. Buddha identified three primary causes of suffering: desire, aversion, and ignorance. 1. Desire. Tanha. Desire, or craving, is a deep-seated longing for something we believe will bring us happiness. This can be anything from material possessions to relationships or even certain states of being. However, these desires often lead to attachment, and when these attachments are inevitably disrupted, we experience suffering. Our desires are insatiable, and even when we achieve what we want, it often doesn't bring the lasting satisfaction we anticipated. 2. Aversion. Devesha. Aversion is the flip side of desire. It involves rejecting or avoiding things we find unpleasant or painful. This resistance to unpleasant experiences often intensifies our suffering, as it leads to frustration and discontent. By constantly trying to push away what we don't like, we fail to accept the reality of our present situation, thus exacerbating our suffering. 3. Ignorance. Avidya. Ignorance is the lack of understanding of the true nature of reality. This ignorance keeps us trapped in a cycle of desire and aversion, as we are unaware of the impermanent and interconnected nature of all things. Ignorance prevents us from seeing things as they truly are, leading to misconceptions and unrealistic expectations that result in suffering. Understanding the Four Noble Truths. Buddha's path to alleviating suffering is encapsulated in the Four Noble Truths. These truths are considered the foundation of Buddhist teachings and offer a comprehensive framework for understanding and addressing suffering. 1. The truth of suffering, dukkha. The first noble truth acknowledges that suffering is an inherent part of life. It encourages us to recognize and accept this reality rather than deny it. By acknowledging suffering, we open the door to understanding its causes and seeking its remedy. 2. The truth of the cause of suffering, samudaya. The second noble truth identifies the root causes of suffering, primarily desire and ignorance. Understanding that our cravings and misperceptions are at the heart of our suffering allows us to address them directly. 3. The truth of the end of suffering, nirodha. The third noble truth assures us that it is possible to end suffering. By extinguishing desire and ignorance, we can achieve a state of liberation and peace known as nirvana. 4. The truth of the path to the end of suffering, magga. The fourth noble truth outlines the Eightfold Path, a practical guide to ethical and mental development that leads to the cessation of suffering. The Eightfold Path, a practical guide to ending suffering. The Eightfold Path provides a comprehensive framework for personal development and spiritual growth. It is divided into three main sections: wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. 1. Wisdom, panna. Right understanding, samadhi. Understanding the Four Noble Truths and the nature of reality. Right intention, samma sankappa. Cultivating intentions of renunciation, goodwill, and harmlessness. 2. Ethical conduct, sila. Right speech, samavaka. Speaking truthfully, kindly, and beneficially. Right action, sammakamanta. Engaging in actions that are moral and do not harm others. Right livelihood, samma ajiva. Earning a living in a way that does not cause harm and is ethically positive. 3. Mental discipline, samadhi. Right effort, samma vayama. Making a persistent effort to cultivate good qualities and abandon unwholesome states. Right mindfulness, samasati, being fully aware and present in each moment, observing thoughts and feelings without attachment. Right concentration, samasamadhi, developing deep focus and meditative absorption. Embracing mindfulness and ethical living. Incorporating Buddha's wisdom into our daily lives requires mindfulness and a commitment to ethical living. Mindfulness involves being fully present and aware in each moment, observing our thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment. This practice helps us recognize the patterns of desire, aversion, and ignorance that contribute to our suffering. Ethical living involves aligning our actions with the principles of the Eightfold Path. By practicing right speech, action, and livelihood, we create a foundation of integrity and compassion that supports our journey towards inner peace. This ethical foundation is crucial for developing mental discipline and wisdom, allowing us to see things as they truly are and respond skillfully to life's challenges. Moving towards inner peace. Buddha's teachings offer timeless insights into the nature and causes of suffering. By embracing the Four Noble Truths and following the Eightfold Path, we can understand and ultimately transcend the suffering that affects us all. This journey requires dedication, mindfulness, and ethical living, but the rewards are profound. By cultivating wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline, we can move towards a state of inner peace and liberation, free from the cycles of desire and aversion. In this way, Buddha's teachings provide a practical and profound pathway to understanding and alleviating suffering, guiding us towards a life of greater clarity, compassion, and serenity.